morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. It is Saturday, guys, and it's a time to enjoy. It's Man United weekend. That's what I called it. We are playing tomorrow against our arch rivals, Liverpool, in the biggest game in England. Still the biggest game in England, despite what everyone says. It still is the most important, biggest game in England, guys. And what I would say is that no love lost. We still need to win this game. We always need to win this game, of course, guys. Very important that Man United assert themselves properly tomorrow and don't roll over like we have in previous years, of course, guys, because we don't like the Scousers. We need to beat them. We need to beat Liverpool, of course, guys. And I believe that we will beat Liverpool tomorrow. I've already predicted a 2-1 win. I've put myself head first into the mixer in regards to that one, guys. Absolutely. And I believe that we will. Come on, guys. Come on, United. It is all about that. Guys, I know it seems like I've started already, but I haven't actually. Please, can you subscribe to the channel? Smash a like on the video. Put the notifications on. All that sweet stuff. Thank you so much. And let me say hello to Asherman, the legend of Asherman. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Big up United Road. Big up my family right there. Don't forget to subscribe to United Road as well. Great person, great community. Of course, guys, big up Asherman. Hope you're doing well, United Road. Big up Wesley. What's going on, my friend? Big up Wesley and big up United Road. And big up Tyborg, the legend that is the Tyborg. Tyborg, there's a Tyborg coming, definitely. And that is on Sunday where Man United play against Liverpool, and hopefully we get the win, guys. I really do hope so. I'm already a little bit anxious. I'm like, I want to get the game going. This international break has drove me mad. I didn't know what to do with myself. Do you know what I mean? I was like, should I knit? What should I do? Should I draw a picture? What should I do? Goodness me, this international break, it drove me mad. It was like nothing, like the world didn't exist. It was like that, wasn't it? You know, we were just like, what's going on? What should we do? Should I make a cup of tea? My 20th cup of tea today. Should I do that? That's what it's all about. Guys, I'm going to get into the news really shortly, guys. But again, please don't forget to smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new and stuff. Smash a vote on the poll as well, guys, because I know it's all about, how you feel, of course, guys. Let me just say good morning to Kenny. What's going on, Kenny? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Good morning, Sal. Footy Judge Mo looks like he is still bitter about Man United beating Inter in the Champions League. I love playing. Big up Mo, by the way. Much love to Mo, of course, but he is an Inter Milan fan, internationale, of course. But I love playing Inter Milan. Let me just say something Inter Milan, guys. I love playing Inter Milan. I love Man United playing Inter Milan. Let me just say it. Inter Milan is a guaranteed bye into the next round of the Champions League. A guaranteed bye. A guarantee. You might as well just say, here, you Man United, go through. Because when Man United play Inter Milan, you know what? We always seem to win. Even the great Inter Milan of the 90s, we beat Inter Milan back then. Absolutely, guys. We beat them. And, I don't mind playing Inter Milan. I wish we could play them again. I wish we could play them every week because we'll batter them every week, But it is what it is at the end of the day. Absolutely beating Mo makes no secret of his disdain for Manchester United. I know that. This is why it's so important that Man United win tomorrow, because if we don't, I will certainly be invited on the channel again, just so they can try and banter good old Sal, because I'm holding it up for the United fans, guys, as I always do. I will always hold up the sword. I will always hold up the flag. The red flag goes flying high, guys. That is what I do. That is what it's all about, guys. Absolutely. I don't just sit there with a screenshot of Indy Kaler's tweets and start going, well, you know what? At the end of the day, I actually have Man United running through my veins, guys. And I wanna be positive. I want to be loud. I want to be enthusiastic. And I want to have personality, because that is what us Man United are all about. Wesley. Good morning, Wesley. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. It's the morning I watched the 2-2 draw. Actually, Liverpool was lucky to beat us. They didn't beat us. We drew 2-2. We drew 2-2. And Harry Maguire was unlucky not to get the 3-2 win at the end. He had an open goal. If it fell to anyone else, Man United would have won that game yesterday, guys. Absolutely. I'm predicting 2-1 to Man United. Me too, Kenny. Big up, Kenny. Sorry, draw against... I got you, Wesley. I got you, brother. I got you. Time on my prediction is 2-2. Would you accept a draw, guys? I would. I think I'll be content with that because, guys, what you need to remember, what people need to remember is that Man United, 40% of our opening 10 games have been from teams from the top four. Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, right? And who was it? Arsenal. 4 of them. Of the first 10 games, 40% of the games have been against top 4 teams. So if Man United come out of this game unscathed, I think it's all right. We can move on. We can start winning a few more games. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So that will be good. Like, I mean, I really do hope so. We don't want to give any more bragging rights to them. Wesley, Kenny, I have this feeling it's going to be a 3-1 win for us. Big up, my friend. Sal, hello, mate. Hello, William. How's it doing, mate? Good to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well. Footy Judge Mo is a good guy, without a doubt. It was an entertaining stream. Thank you, Kenny. It always is entertaining on them. Don't forget to subscribe to Footy Judge Mo as well. And obviously, Hussam and all that. I've been on all their channels, I know. Look, you know what? One thing I will say about Liverpool fans in general, Liverpool fans, some of them are a little bit on cloud 9 at the moment. They're like on this little bubble world. You know what I mean? It's like we've given the keys to some donkeys, and they basically, here you go, drive the car. Do you know what I mean? And we're the lion, and we just gone to sleep. You know, and they say, here you go, Liverpool fan, here's the keys, and they're like donkeys. You know, taking hold of the wheel and things like that. But no, Man United will be back, and Man United will awaken from our slumber. We will do, guys, absolutely. Now, guys, let me get into a little bit of news about Manchester United, of course. Manchester United, of course, are in the transfer market. We all know Man United are in the transfer market, guys. Man United are looking at the possibility of loaning Real Madrid superstar, Brazilian international, Endrick. Now, look, I don't know what you guys make of this, but there is rumors that Joshua Zirkzee, could leave the football club. Joshua Zirkzee has gained interest from West Ham. So Man United feel the need to bring in a reinforcement, a backup option, or maybe a first-team option in regards to Endrick on a loan deal, guys. People seem to forget about Endrick. Endrick's only 19 years old, guys. It's easy to forget, isn't it? He's only 19 years old. Already has 14 caps for Brazil, 3 goals. He's a very talented player, and Real Madrid didn't sign. When Real Madrid signed him, there was all this big talk about him being the next R9, etc., etc. And, you know, I mean, it will be great. The only thing I would say about this is that Man United do have a couple of attackers already there, as we already know. We have Bruma, we have Cunha. Bruno's one of them as well. Mason Mount plays up there now. You know, so I just feel like it'd be a difficult position for Man United to add to, because we can't be dropping players. However, having a player like Endrick in his ilk, he can play as a striker as well. Endrick is a centre forward and an attacking midfielder. So basically, with Sesko, we're a little bit threadbare. We're putting the pressure again all on Benjamin Sesko. I believe Benjamin Sesko is going to be an absolute phenomenal player. I think he will be, and I think he will score 20 plus goals this season. I've said it already. But I do believe that we need a little bit of backup there. We need a bit of backup. And I feel like Endrick would be great. And we can rotate with Endrick and Sesko. And I think that would be good. I think Endrick will suit the Premier League to a T. I think he'd be brilliant in the Premier League. I really do feel that. I think it'd be really good in the Premier League, in my opinion. And I won't mind a loan signing. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? A loan signing, get him to Man United. I don't think it would be a bad idea, in my opinion. However, obviously, we're a bit jam-packed in that position at the moment. And the midfield should be a priority. Before anything else, the midfield needs to be a priority, guys. Absolutely. And you know what? I'm a big fan of Endrick, by the way. And I wouldn't mind Man United signing Endrick. I wouldn't mind them signing him in the summer. I think it'd be a fabulous signing. It would be a fabulous signing. But you know what? I would like to see how he does in the Premier League, bringing him on loan. It will give you an idea on how he's going to be, if he's going to be good in the Premier League, etc. And I think he will be. I think he's got that sort of Premier League sort of style of play, in my opinion. And let's wait and see what happens in regards to that. But circulating loan deal for Endrick. Of course, Real Madrid will probably want a little bit of a fee in January, so that will probably be a few million, of course. But let's wait and see, guys. Man United are in for a few players this January. Hopefully, we do get a couple in. There is a lot of talk about players leaving the football club, and that's not a surprise because the World Cup is coming in the summer. January is really the last chance for many of these players. Now, it is the last chance for a lot of these players to state their claim for the World Cup place, right? So basically, Zirkzee, of course, Kobe Mainoo, these players can't be sitting on the bench. In this next few months, they need to be playing football if they want to get into the international fold in regards to the World Cup. They need to be playing regularly. They really do. And to be honest with you, I don't think we should stifle the development. If we can have an opportunity maybe to loan a couple of players out, that would be better. Zirkzee, Mainu, something like that. Because I know we should be playing Mainu. You don't need to tell me. I know we should be playing Mainu ahead of Bruno in that midfield. But we're not going to play him, and Ruben Amorim's not going to play him. So we need to loan them out, if anything, because they need to play in the World Cup. And I do believe that Kobbie Mainoo is still one of England's best midfielders, guys, and especially at his age. And I think he adds something a little bit different to what other players add in regards to guile, being ahead of the game, etc., in that midfield position, that number 8 position. Now, guys, in regards to Manchester United and the January transfer window, I'm not expecting greatness. I'm not expecting 100 million spent on players. I don't think that will happen. Of course, the AFCON's coming as well, so Man United need to be aware of that as well. This is why it adds weight to the fact we are going to sign someone, but I just don't think Man United are going to go out there and spend a load of money, even though we should. I don't think we're going to do that. Traditionally, Man United have never really done that in the January transfer window. I think the last big transfer we had, wasn't it? Bruno Fernandes, wasn't it? Or something like that. So I don't think Man United are going to go out there and go absolutely mad in the January transfer window. However, I do think Man United will bring in a couple of players. I do, if a couple of players do leave the football club, if they want to go on loan or sold indeed. Now, West Ham United are interested in Zirkzee at the moment. West Ham have inquired about Zirkzee. Look, I think Zirkzee is better than West Ham. I think he's a better player than what West Ham, and I think that he should be going to a bigger club than West Ham. In my opinion, I think that he would suit the Serie A very well. You know, even if he went to Juve or Inter Milan or something like that, he would suit those teams very well, in my opinion. And I think West Ham's a little bit low for him, considering the way West Ham are playing as well. I just don't think West Ham would be good for him. I don't think it'd be good for his international aspirations, because at West Ham, a team like West Ham, you won't be given a chance. And what do I mean by that? I mean basically a chance to flourish, a chance to shine, because they generally get outrun, they generally get thumped, you know, and I've seen it many times at West Ham, especially at the London Stadium. They do get, you know, easily run over. And I think someone like Zirkzee would struggle in a West Ham team. And I think he would be better going to another team elsewhere, a better team elsewhere, of course, guys. Absolutely. Let's get a catch up with some comments, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Big up, Tyborg. Our position on the table is not as bad as some people think. Our fixtures was one of the hardest for this season, and we are still capable. Tybo, you remember before the season I predicted we win the league? Remember, maybe a little bit over the top, but you know what? I'm always going to believe in my football team. I'm always going to believe in Man United, and that's where I believe in the badge. But one thing I would say, yes, we have had a hard start to the season, but we have had some very bad games as well. I.e., we played very poorly against Fulham. We played poorly against Brentford, and we played poorly against Manchester City. Those games there, we should have been beaten, right? And this is the thing. And I know that against Fulham, we should have scored a penalty and we could have won it, but we didn't play well. Against Brentford, we should have lost 5 or 6-0, right? The way we played. I would put that down to tactical error. I would put that down to selection error in regards to the Brentford game in particular. I just think that Man United do still have characteristics that we've had in the past, and it's something that we can't shake off. We play well sometimes, we play terribly badly the other times, and it's something that we need to get rid of out of our game, and I don't think we get rid of this. You know, we haven't got rid of this in a few years now. When you're looking at Man United, I want to be confident. And I want to say, look, we win against Liverpool. We're 2 points behind Liverpool. This great, magnificent Liverpool side, by the way. We're going to be 2 points behind Liverpool if we beat Liverpool. Not so bad, isn't it, at the moment? We're 5 points from, second place or something like that. It's not the end of the world. However, it can get worse. Right. Once we start getting 8 points, 10 points from the top 4, it's going to be very difficult to recapture that. I want Man United to prove me wrong in regards to the narrative that we are inconsistent and we are bottlers. I want that Man United team. If we go out there and get a good result against Liverpool, let's say we get a draw against Liverpool, right? I think we can win, but let's say we get a draw, right? I don't want to see Man United playing West Ham, playing Brighton, and playing Tottenham and these teams and losing to these teams. Because this is what we've done traditionally now. It is a tradition now of Man United. It's become the norm for Man United to beat the big teams or do well against the big teams and get slapped up against the Bournemouths, against the Tottenhams, against the West Hams. Because look at last season. We lost 3-0. Was it 3-0 to Bournemouth? We lost to Tottenham 4 times. I mean, not in my life. If someone told me 20 years ago, in one season, Man United would lose 4 times to Tottenham, I would have choked on my coffee. I'm telling you right now, that is the characteristics of Manchester United over the last few years. And I want them to prove me wrong. We're not far away. Of course, we're not far away. But we can get far away. We can, if we don't show consistency. No, Man United lost easily to Brentford, right? That is in our DNA right now. That is what we're doing right now. And this is not going to disappear. This sort of performance is in the locker. This sort of performance can happen. So I want Man United to change that narrative. I want Ruben Amorim to learn from the tactical errors that he did. You know, I still believe with Bruno in midfield, Man United are not gonna progress as well as they should. He's not a midfielder. He's not a number 8. I don't think Maguire should be playing in that back line. I think it should be Lady Yoro. It should be Aiden Heaven. Man United need to move on. We need pace in there. Lots of teams these days have pace, you know. So, look, I hope so. Fingers crossed, you know, the Man United could surprise me. And Man United go out there and do what I predicted at the beginning of the season and do well this season. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And don't let us down again. And starting with tomorrow's big, massive game, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Tybo. Wesley, Sal, my son took out his Manchester United jersey this morning, wanting to wear it for his game today for the under-7s. Big up your son, my friend. Big up your son, by the way. Yeah, look. You know what we need all the juju away from us. We need the good vibes and we need the good luck. Whatever creates good luck this weekend, do it, guys. Do it. What was your superstitions? Have you ever had a superstition in regards to Man United? I used to have a couple of superstitions before I would watch Man United. I would keep my fingers crossed. I would have one hand like this and I would have one hand like this, right? And I would keep them crossed like this until the game starts, and then I would do this. And I'll say, yes, Coleman, let's go. And I think a lot of people, I mean, Paul Ince used to not put on his shirt until we came out of the tunnel, didn't he? He used to put on his shirt afterwards, didn't he? And there's lots of superstitions that are out there that you can do, of course. And I want everyone, if you have any lucky superstitions, do it this weekend. And hopefully Man United get the win. Absolutely. Big up, William, Wesley. William, it would be a brilliant loan. It would be. Yeah, it would be. This loan deal makes no sense to me. It's a lose-lose situation. If he does good, Madrid will want him back. If he does badly, we wouldn't want him anyway. I would rather use our youngsters. I don't know, Tybo. Endrick's a very good player. It's not really a lose-lose because you'll get him for 6 months, and our squad is incredibly weak, so that's a win. So what I would say is that on a loan with no fee, what can you lose? What can you lose? We lose him at the end of the season, so what? You know, go back to Real Madrid. Good. You know, imagine he can help us get in the top 4. You know, imagine that. Imagine Sesko gets injured tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Touch wood, he doesn't. And I don't think it's that bad as people think. I think it will be a decent move for Man United. I think improving the squad with a loan deal for Endrick is, you know, Man United have Sesko up front and that's it. We have no out-and-out striker. We have no proper striker. Just Sesko, right? Now, Endrick is very versatile. Can play right, left, attack midfield, up front. So if anything happens, especially, guys, let's not forget the African nations is on at the moment. It's going to be happening, right? So Man United are going to lose Ahmed. Man United are going to lose Mbeumo. Man United are going to lose Mazraoui. So these 3 players, January could be a very, very dangerous month for Man United. Now, bringing in Endrick will fill that void. You know what I mean? Especially if Man United lose Zirkzee and Mainu. So Man United could quite possibly, in January, have no Mazraoui, have no Ahmad, have no Mbeumo, have no Zirkzee, have no Mainu. 5 players could be missing for Man United in a month. You know what I mean? So that could be detrimental to Man United's European ambitions. So bringing in a player like Endrick, I think it's a no-brainer. I think it alone, no money, you know what I mean? Bring him in, pay a percentage of his wage. Brilliant. If we send him off in the summer, so be it. At the end of the day, he's going to help Man United, guys. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're blessed. Huncho, good morning. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Just stop looking for the players of Real Madrid. Real Madrid get rid of a player unless he's useless. No, he's not useless, mate. He plays for Brazil, 14 caps, 3 goals. He's just they got a big squad. What you need to be careful of Real Madrid is the older players, Varane and the Casemiros, because that's what they do. Wesley, they would never sell Endrick to us. They would loan him. Sal, what's your thoughts on the legends that got a comment about the players and Amram? Because I heard Scholes said the players are not fit enough. I don't know, mate. I don't know about what Scholes said about the players. The players are not fit enough. The players are not as fit as they used to be. And I would argue that with anyone. They're not fit. They're not as fit as when I was growing up and watching Man United. I've spoken a lot of times about Man United of the past. I've spoken about Man United when we used to when I used to go to games and stuff like that. And Man United, some players used to vomit on the pitch. That's how hard we used to work. I don't see the work ethic now. Look, I think that Patrice Evra run more in one game, right, than Marcus Rashford did in his whole bloody season, in the whole season. Patrice Evra used to run more than, and that's just an example because, when I used to sit on the Stretford end and I used to sit at the front, I used to see the defenders. I used to see how much they run. I used to see the attackers. I was front row. I used to see how much they run. So at the end of the day, I just don't think that they work hard enough. I don't think they want it as much as the older lot wanted it back in the past. I'm not going to say that they're not ambitious, but they just don't want to work for that and work for what they want. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem. William, want to see them play for the badge tomorrow. We need them back. Hate Liverpool with a passion. William, I really do hope so, mate. I really do hope they do us proud. They did do us proud last season. They should have won that game against Liverpool, of course. But, ultimately, it really didn't matter when we came 15th and we lost to the likes of Bournemouth and Wolves and West Ham and Tottenham and, all these teams out there. We lost to them. There's no point. What I would urge Man United, I want Man United to treat this game like a final first. But I also want them to keep in their mind, this is the start of something major. This is the start of something big. We're going to go on a run. We're going to start winning games. That is what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? We're not just going to beat Liverpool. We're not just going to go out there and exert ourselves 100%. We're going to go against West Ham, Brighton, Everton, Newcastle, Tottenham, and do exactly the same thing. That is what I want Man United to do. From tomorrow is the start of the season. Let's do it. Let's treat this like the start of the season, and we're going to go on a run. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be ironic, guys, if Man United won 2 in a row and that 2 in a row was against Liverpool? But let's not think about 2 in a row, right? Man United used to lose games against Alex Ferguson. Of course we did, right? But when we lost a game, right, we used to go on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games won in a row. Back then, right? 8 games won in a row. Why don't Man United change the record? Why don't Man United make history? Why don't they look in themselves in the mirror instead of blaming everyone else and show us you've got the ability. Show us you've got the mental capacity. Because I know you can talk a good game. Luke Shaw at the beginning of the season said they can win the league. We can win the league. He said we can win the league. That's what Luke Shaw said at the beginning of the season during pre-season. So why not prove it? Prove it to us. Prove that you can win the league. Prove that you can challenge. I'm not saying that you must challenge for the league because I know it's unrealistic at the moment with the way Man United are. We can get in the top 4, top 5. I think Man United can do that. I think we can. But look, listen, football's all about confidence. Football's all about confidence, and you go out there and you keep winning games, just like Leicester City did. You never know what is going to happen. You never know what's going to happen, of course. Ever was a machine, absolutely, mate. Absolutely, Willem. Wesley, hopefully we can have a good window in January because of the players leaving on international duty and sales. Absolutely. It's a very precarious time for Man United during the winter. Man United, obviously, with the AFCON, with players potentially leaving because they want to play in the World Cup. And I don't blame them at the end of the day, because Man United are not in a position, to be keeping players on the bench. They're not in a position to stay at Man United because people don't look at Man United now. I think, well, he's playing for Man United. Do you know what I mean? He's still a world-class player. I'm still going to pick him for the international squad. They're looking at Man United. Man United are not doing as well as they should be. Why isn't he playing? That's what they're going to be looking at. So players need to be playing. These players in particular, Zirkzee, and they're better off playing first team football than sitting on the bench at Man United. But what I would say is that the likes of Zirkzee, it would be a mistake for Zirkzee to go to West Ham, even though it'd be good for Man United to get Zirkzee a bit of Premier League experience, etc. I think it would be a bad move for Zirkzee because I don't think necessarily if he plays for West Ham, unless he goes out there and scores 20 goals for the second half of the season or plays extremely well and absolutely blows the doors off, I don't think that it's a good move for Zirkzee. I think what's a good move for Zirkzee? Going to a more famous club. A club that, is in the eyes of the public and stuff like that. Because I believe that Zirkzee should be in the Dutch national team. I do. I think that Mainoo should be in the England team. I think that. And I think it would be a big mistake for England not to pick Kobbie Mainoo in the England team because Kobbie Mainoo adds something different rather than Jordan Henderson because he's a good lad. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want Man United to stifle these players. I know we're in a position where Bruno plays no matter what. And I've disagreed with this so many times. I've disagreed that Bruno should play and that's it. Do you know what I mean? And, I just believe that we need to start rotating the squad, but he's not going to do that, unfortunately. And this is why he'll live and die on his sword with that, But I don't want him to stifle certain players coming in. And I also want to see some other players given an opportunity, of course. Wensley, Bruno says that the backs Amram and he can, and Bruno says he backs Amram and he can get us back to where we were. You know what? Can I be honest, Wesley? I don't care what Bruno says. I don't care what any of those players say. I don't care if they back Ruben Amram. I don't care whether they back him or not. I don't care. Play for Man United. That's it. That's all I care about. I don't care if Bruno backs Amram. Who's he? Who cares? Who's Bruno? Mate, what have you won? No one. What weight do we put on your opinion? What weight do I put on Bruno's opinion? I don't care if you back Ruben Amram. That should go without saying. You should back your manager anyway. You should play for your football club anyway. You should play for your fans for the badge anyway. You should play for Duncan Edwards, Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law anyway. You shouldn't be, I back him because it's, you know what, I'm the gatekeeper. You know what I mean? This is the problem with our team these days, isn't it? They just, when I say I back him. And you know what? Indirectly, subconsciously, when a player says, I back him, it's basically undermining the player, the manager. It's basically undermining the manager. It's basically like, saying that, oh, leave him alone. It's basically like that, isn't it? Leave him alone. We back him. It's like that, isn't it? He just needs to keep his mouth quiet, get on that pitch against Liverpool tomorrow and bloody make a difference. Because as far as I'm aware, you were part of the team that lost 7-0 to Liverpool, mate. Mate, you've embarrassed Man United over these last few months. You had Saudi Arabia in your head in the Europa League final, and you played atrociously badly, and you also gave away the ball for the goal. Yeah, listen, look, I don't want them to talk, these players. These players need to just be quiet, especially players who have underperformed for many, many years now. I don't care about the stat padding. I don't care how many goals he got against bloody Burnley or Stromgetset or whatever the team is. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. I care about us winning football matches. I care about us challenging for league titles. I care about us winning Champions League. That is what Man United should be doing. That is where Man United should be. And these players are not been doing that for years, right? And when we do get into the Champions League, we embarrass ourselves. So let's be real here. These players don't have a leg to stand on, right? They are on a wooden leg, like Captain Hook, shall I say, with 2 wooden legs, right? Right, but they got the fire on their wooden legs. Right, and the fire is getting up and up and up, and they're going to fall because I'm fed up with these players talking. I really am. Even when Luke Shaw said at the beginning of the season, you know what, we can win the league. We have the ability to win the league. Yeah, that's great. That's positive. But mate, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you because I don't trust you, mate. I don't trust you, mate. I don't trust players that have been there for 5 to 10 years and serially underperformed. As I said before, the Ted Bundy of underperforming. That's serial underperformers. They are. For this football club. And I think Man United, us as fans, should take everything these players say with a pinch of salt. Tyborg, a good result and the performance on Sunday could potentially change our whole season. I think, Tyborg, what we need to do tomorrow is just be hard to beat. Firstly, we'd be hard to beat and lay that foundation there. The foundation should be hard to beat, not conceding goals, not conceding silly free kicks or corners and stuff like that. And then you know what you do in these games, just like Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. And Sir Alex Ferguson didn't go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. Sir Alex Ferguson used to be very tactical at Anfield, if you remember. There's many times we've been to Anfield and we've been very, very tactical. You know what I mean? So at the end, we've like, for example, the John O'Shea last-minute goal, do you know what I mean, which contributed to us winning the league and, keeping it tight. Because Anfield is a very difficult to play. I would argue with anyone that Anfield is the most difficult stadium to go in Europe. In Europe. There's only a few stadiums that I look at, right, and I think, you know what, that's a tough place to go. What's your top 5? The top 5 for me, Anfield, right? I never used to like going to Highbury. I thought it was a difficult place to go. I don't like going to the Bernabeu. I think it's a difficult place to go. I remember the Dell was a difficult place to go with Southampton and stuff like that. So, look, we need to quieten that crowd. In the opening 20 minutes, we need to quieten that crowd, keep that crowd quiet. And you know what? You never know what can happen. If we keep it 0-0 or if we get an early goal and we have something to build on, guys, I think Man United can go there and win. I really do. I don't rate this Liverpool side as highly as I have in the last few years. I actually think the Liverpool side of the 90s would beat this Liverpool side. I'm being honest with you guys. I do believe that. Jay, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Zirkzee should play as an 8. Would be sad if Zirkzee let it would be sad, Jay. Sorry, I'm reading your handles. Of course, I repeat, YouTube are doing this safety thing where they're putting people's handles rather than putting people's names. So I apologize if I get anything wrong, guys. Really appreciate you, though, today. Of course, on this Saturday morning, of course. I agree with Jay here. I agree with Jay Gambino. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. What I would say is that, yes, I think that Zirkzee and Mainoo have been treated unfairly. I'm going to say that I'm very fair with my judgment. I'm Ruben Amorim. I'm Ruben Amorim supporter. I mean, at the end of the day, well, I wouldn't say Ruben Amorim. I'll say that I support Ruben Amorim. I'm Man United in. That's what I am. I would repeat. But I do believe that Kobbie Mainoo and Zirkzee have been treated unfairly. And I would argue that with anyone. I think they've been treated unfairly. They haven't had a fair crack at the whip. Because at the end of the day, we're shoehorning players into positions that they don't play. You know? Maybe because we've rejected 100 million for Bruno, we have to play him now. You know, maybe that's the stipulation going on. Maybe that came from upstairs. I don't know. But the likes of Zirkzee, the likes of Bruno, the likes of Mainoo, who are not playing for this football club, it's not good. Because Mainoo is a good player. Mainoo is a class player. And you can tell Mainoo can be a great player for Man United, but we're not giving him the opportunities that he deserves, you know. And we all remember when he was playing, you know, remember some of the great goals that he scored for Man United and that Wolves game, for example, you know. I mean, I really hope that he comes good. I really hope that he gets an opportunity. But you know what? If he leaves, I'm not going to blame him. And I don't think any Man United should blame any player there now. I don't think any Man United fan should blame Mainoo, should blame Zirkzee for leaving the football club because they have not been given an opportunity. They have not been fairly treated. In my opinion, guys, I back the manager. But I'm going to call out what I believe. I believe they haven't been treated up fairly. And I think if they leave the football club, hopefully they go on loan, they absolutely smash it, and they come back to Man United. That's what I hope. Because selling Mainoo, for me, would be a mistake. It would be a mistake. I don't think we should sell Mainoo. Absolutely not. William, well said. Bruno talked a lot. He needs to stop talking. He needs to stop talking because he's not won anything. I don't care what he done internationally, what Cristiano Ronaldo won for him, right? I don't care what he done international, right? I care about what happens for Man United, right? Bruno, have you challenged for a league title? Have you challenged? Serious challenge for a league title? No. Have you serially qualified for the Champions League? No. What have you won, mate? FA Cup. Okay, how many finals you've lost? 2 Europa League finals, 1 FA Cup. He's lost a lot, guys. And look, listen, I just want these players to just be quiet. Be quiet, focus. Because I never used to see players talking back when I was growing up, when Man United winning everything. I didn't used to see these players talking the big game, you know, talking the biggie bollocks and stuff. You know what I mean? And just go out there and bloody play your game and score goals and assist goals and do what you have to do and work hard for the team and don't bloody be ill-disciplined in your position, you know? Because tomorrow is ultimately the test. Because we all know what happened when we lost 7-0 to Liverpool. There were rumours about Bruno wanting to come off the pitch, right? Throwing these players under the bus. I don't know how much truth there is in this. A lot of people deny it. But these are rumours that spread. There's no smoke without fire. As I've always said, there's no smoke without fire. So you got to go out there, mate, and prove us wrong. You know what? There's a lot of making up to do for these Man United players. Not only last season, from previous seasons. These players have got a lot to make up to us fans. You know that. They got a lot to make up. They're in debt. They're in debt to their eyeball with Man United fans. They're in debt to us, what they've done. Tomorrow it starts, right? Tomorrow it starts. These fans, the fan base around the world who stay loyal with Man United, they need to be their debts repaid. We need our debts repaid. That is what it is, absolutely. Sorry, but I don't really see anything special in Zirkzee. Not a bad player, just average, and we can't improve with such players in important positions. I don't know about that. I think that's a little bit unfair, Tyborg. I think that's unfair considering he's only had half a game or something this season. I think it's a little bit unfair. I think football is based on consistency. Zirkzee hasn't been playing consistency. And if you roll back to last season when he got booed off the pitch, he came back on and he played very, very well for Man United, if we remember. I don't think you can judge a player based on one game here, one game there, half a game here. I don't think you can do that in all fairness. You know, I think you've got to wait until the players played a few games for Man United because when we're looking at things, Zirkzee's not the problem at Man United. I want people to call out Bruno. I want people to call out these players because I told you, Tybalt, at the beginning of the season that Bruno shouldn't be playing a number 8. Bruno shouldn't be doing this. Bruno shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? And I mention it to his day. Zirkzee has not been treated well. You don't see anything. Well, I do. I've seen 40 years of football, mate. 500 games. I've seen Man United, Zirkzee. I've seen great players at this football club. I see talent there. But the thing is, that talent needs to be nurtured. People forget that Zirkzee's a young player. And we've only played him once. You know? I hope he goes on loan. I hope he smashes it. And then it's good for Man United at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? But personally, I don't think he's been treated fairly. I don't. And whether he's good or not, whether he proves to be bad, whether he proves not to be good enough, I just think that, you know what, we need to see that in a consistent amount of games, 4 or 5 games, one in a row. You can't judge a player after 1 game here, 5 games off, 1 game here, 7 games off, half a game here, 4 games off. You can't do that. You can't do that because we all know what happened to players that has happened in the past. You know, how long they take to get into their rhythm. Jaap Stam, Nemanja Vidic, Patrice Evra had a number of games. I remember Darren Fletcher was one of, I used to go on the Man United forums and start criticizing Darren Fletcher. I learned from my mistake. He played and become a World Cup centre midfielder, right? And I didn't see anything in Darren Fletcher, right? But then he ended up becoming an absolute World Cup performer. How do you do that? Consistency. These players don't play for Bayern. They don't play for Bologna and get Bologna into their best position they have ever been in the Champions League and then come to Man United and become a bad player. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. Absolutely. Ted Bundy, you crack me up. Big up, William. They are, though. They are. Big up. Fun show, big up. Honestly, we don't need this boy at all. I'd prefer go for CDM loan instead. But I hope we do get both, mate. But what you have to understand there, Fun show, what you have to understand, what happens when Ahmad leaves for the African nations and Bremo leaves for the African nations. Mainu leaves to go to another club because he wants to play World Cup football. Mazruri goes to the African nations. Zirkzee goes to another club because he wants to play World Cup football. We need a squad, mate. We're going to be threadbare. So this is why Man United are linked with Endrick. And that's not saying that Man United need a midfielder. Don't narrow your expectations. We need a midfielder. We need everything. What we can get, we need attackers, we need midfielders, we need defenders, we need everything. Not just midfielder, that's it. Hopefully we get a midfielder. Please make my wish come true. Do you know what I mean? Guys, absolutely. So you need to think about the squad, not only about the first team players. I also think Liverpool is good this season. I also think Liverpool is not so good this season. Watched a couple of their games. Not the best football, extremely lucky sometimes and the rest. I mean, Liverpool, Tybo, could be in a far worse position right now than they are right now. They could be in a far worse position considering the last-minute goal against, against Newcastle? They have had a couple of games there where they've scored right in the last minute. And obviously, you know, they've had a lot of favouritism. I do believe Liverpool get more favouritism than any other team in the Premier League. That's why they score so many late goals and so many penalties. Right? And I believe that, VAR is going to play a big role tomorrow. VAR, the referee, we got Michael Oliver, which I think is a criminal offence to put him in any Man United game. He's an absolute clown when it comes to Man United. And I think that it's a wrong decision. I think this is exactly what's been going on this last few years. This sinister nature in regards to refereeing Man United games. The bad referees referee Man United games, in particular Man United against Liverpool. And I feel like Liverpool have been extremely lucky, and I don't want to see any of that luck getting on their side tomorrow because I know what Michael Oliver does. Jamie Oliver's the chef. I know what Michael Oliver does. And I believe that, you know what, it's a big game for Michael Oliver. I don't want to see any bull crap because we know what Michael Oliver is all about with Man United. We all remember when Coote, who has been suspended from Man United from refereeing, by the way, went to that screen on the VAR check against West Ham last season and spent half an hour because Michael Oliver was trying to tell him it was a penalty. And Coote was like, no, it's not a penalty. But it was Michael Oliver in the VAR room telling Coote that it was a penalty. And he ended up giving a penalty. You know what I mean? This tells you a lot, doesn't it, about where Michael Oliver is. And this is a very big thing for in regards to the game tomorrow. Massive, you know. I really hope it doesn't get involved. William, I don't trust Bruno. Say hide away too much. Big up, William. I agree. Zirkzee can go in January, but Mainu will be promised playing time in January with 2 of our number 10s going to AFCON. Good point, Fun Show. That's true. That's true. Mainu can, but Mainu needs to be guaranteed because World Cup is coming in January. That's true. But our squad is still threadbare. Mainu is not attacking midfielder. He's a number 8. So obviously Bruno will go into that number 10 position, probably. But we still need cover in those positions. One player gets injured, we're screwed. That's it. If Ahmad... You're looking at the right back, right? You're looking at the right wing back position. So we ain't got all we got is Dalot, and Dalot's not fit all the time. But Dalot's not a great player in my opinion. But we're gonna have Ahmad, Mazraoui, Zirkzee leaving the football club. We're going to the AFCON, of course. Mbeumo going to the AFCON, of course. So look, we need a squad. If you want to qualify for the league, the best squad win. Best squad win. If you want to qualify for the Champions League, the best squad get in the Champions League. And Man United won't have the best squad, especially in January when all those players are gone. So Man United need to think about reinforcements. And I don't think it's such a bad idea to get a midfielder in, maybe get a Ruben Neves in, maybe get Ruben Neves in as a loan option, playing that midfield, maybe get an Endrick in as a loan option. You know what I mean? It will add a boost to the squad as well. People can't underestimate this. Playing this player, saying that's Glazeronomics, the way you're talking. It's Glazeronomics. That's the way the Glazers want you to talk. We don't need this. We don't need that. No. We don't need this. No. We'll be all right. We'll be fine with the players we got. Even though we've only got 12 players, we'll be all right in our whole squad. We'll be all right. No. We need to concentrate on building a good squad because you know what? I'm telling you right now, Man United have not been blessed when it comes to injuries. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you now, we need reinforcements in there to help us out a little bit. And hopefully Man United get 2-3 deals done in January. I really hope so. Because listen, guys, Mainu's unhappy. Mainu's going to come into Man United. You're not going to expect him to be this world-class player. Mainu's unhappy. His morale is down. And we have to remember that as well. People forget about the psychological thing about football. They just see, players and that's it. I kick football in goal. That's it. There's a psychological side to it when you've been dropped out of the team so many times. You know what I mean? William, Zirkzee hasn't really had a chance. I see talent there. I mean, yeah. If you watch the game, yeah. Sal, I see the referee is Michael Oliver. He doesn't like Man United. Absolutely not. And I think it's a disgrace that he's refereeing the game. Mainu is 8, Bruno 10, and Cunha in the wings and Sesko up front. This is what I would do on Sunday. I think I agree with you, Cyber, something like that. I mean, you know what I would do? I would do this, mate. Something along those lines. I wouldn't play Bruno as a number 8. I think the guys, look, you know what? The best thing for Man United to do, and I know people are going to disagree. Some people are going to disagree against Liverpool. And it's something that we did under Ruud van Nistelrooy for a short period, and we've done very well. Let's play a double pivot. Casemiro and Ugarte. People are criticizing Ugarte. People criticize Casemiro because they play with Bruno in the midfield. That's why. And Bruno leaves them isolated. So I would play a double pivot. I would. I play a double pivot, keep it tight in midfield, play Bruno as a number 10 and Bremo as a right number 10. And you know what? Or play Bremo as a right wing, and play Cunha and Fernandes in the number 10. So it's not going to happen. But, I think there's a lot of better options to do it. I think Man United need to have a double pivot. I do. I think if Man United really want to win this game, Alex Ferguson used to do the same. Sometimes he'll play Nicky Butt and Roy Keane together. Sometimes you do have to keep things tight. You do have to be, you can't be so naive in football. Do you know what I mean? Prince, big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. As a club, we are in situationship. What's that? We are playing 1 game a week. Whose fault is at fault is that the players at fault. These players have been shit. I agree, Prince. I agree. We know these players are shit, bro. We know they are. And this is why I don't want these players to be talking. In particular, I'm talking about the players that have been there 4, 5 to 10 years. You know what I mean? I'm talking about these players, and I don't want them to be talking. I want them just to get on with their football and just be quiet and get the results on the pitch. That's exactly what I want. I agree that a lot of these players have been shit. A lot of these players have got in debt to us, Man United fans. They're in debt to us. They need to go out there and they need to prove that they are Manchester United players. And I've been saying this for many, many years now for these players. Sound like a broken record with some of these players. I can't believe that it's 2025 and we're still talking about Harry Maguire and Dalot and Shaw and Bruno and still relying on these players like they're all of a sudden miraculously at 30 years old going to suddenly become these world-class players and these serial winners that, we thought they would become 10 years ago, because they won't at the end of the day. You can't turn Peter Crouch into prime Ronaldinho. He is what he is. That is football. He is what he is. You can't turn them. He's old enough now. He's learned you can't change the spots on a leopard and all that stuff, all that jazz. You can't do that, So I personally, I would move on a lot of these players. Hopefully in January and the summer, we start moving on players and stuff like that who are not good enough for this football club and bring in new players. No, I've said it already. Like, there's a lot of players out there. They talk a good game. We got the world-class talkers in our team, world-class talkers. If talking was an elite, with a league table, we'll be 10 points clear, because we're good at talking. We're good at promises. You know what I mean? We're good at manipulation. You know what I mean? We're good at, I back the manager. Prove you back the manager. Go on the pitch, shut up, and get on with the game and win the game. And that's what these players should do, not talking about. Because personally, I don't care if Bruno backs the manager. I don't care. You need to worry about if the manager backs you, mate. That is what you need to worry about. These players, some of these players who've been there for decades, are serial underperforming, need to worry about the manager backing them, need to worry about the club backing them. Because you know what? And us backing them. Because at the end of the day, what gives me a reason to back these players? What gives me a reason? Tomorrow, winning the game gives me a reason. Because you know what? I've seen some of these players go to Emirates. I've seen some of these players go to Emirates and win with 10 men. I've also seen some of these players lose to Grimsby, and this is what we're talking about here with these players. These players need to go to Liverpool tomorrow, exert themselves, get a good result, leave Anfield, and go on with the next game, the West Ham, the Brightons, the Newcastles, the Tottenhams, the Evertons, and beat them teams too. That's what I want to see. Only then will I have more enthusiasm, more belief in these players, because and then maybe, just maybe, they can talk. But I don't want them to talk at the moment. I really don't. I don't want them to talk. I don't want them to talk about anything at the moment. I want them to prove it on the pitch and get on with what their job is playing for this great football club, of course. William, Fletcher was slow burner, but yeah, he got there. Absolutely, William. Yeah. Absolutely. I'd keep Zirkzee and play him in let the boys shine. It's the thing is, I would keep him because of the African nations, and we definitely need him, and he might get his opportunity. Fatsal, why do these players chat so much yet they don't have anything to show for? Remember, even Cunha, is it Cunha? Oh, Nana, yeah, was chatting so much. Sorry about my eyesight. Chatting so much before the Lyon game. Yeah, look, and what happened? He almost got embarrassed. Chat shit, get banged. That's what it is at the end of the day, isn't it? At the end of the day, and you know what? And these players have no leg to stand on. They have no leg to stand on. They've got the mouth of Real Madrid and the ability of Bournemouth. Even less than Bournemouth. I would say that's doing a disservice to Bournemouth. At the end of the day, listen, these teams, how many times have these teams been slapped up? Been slapped up. These players. How many times have these players been slapped up in their careers at Man United? More than I would like to remember. Right? And the thing is, I just don't want to hear the talk anymore. I'm done with that. Do you know what I mean? I'm done with the talk. We already know what they're about. We've seen it against Brentford. We saw it against Man City. We saw their heads drop. We saw the blame game. You know what I mean? We saw that, didn't we? And we're still blaming players. Even players who left the club are blaming players at Man United. You know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And I'm tired of it now. I'm tired of it. Just go out there, get bloody results. Get football results. That's what you do. That's your job. Go on that pitch, get results. Your job, you're not Jeremy Kyle. You don't talk in the media. You don't talk like all this good stuff and positivity talk. This is not a last-minute talk from Jerry Springer here. You know what I mean? This is not the final analysis here. You need to go out there and win bloody football matches. That's what you need to go do. You know what I mean? If we wanted a talker, do you know what I mean? We'll get a talker in there. We'll get an inspirational speaker in our dressing room. We'll do that. Why don't we do that, right? We don't need Bruno talking and blaming and blame shifting and stuff like that. Absolutely. I would rather those players get on with the job that they're meant to do and win football matches for Manchester United, in my opinion. Absolutely. Wesley, we are the most hated team in the world. Absolutely, we are. Definitely. Dave, good morning. The Anfield crowd usually intimidate teams. We should score first and they stay composed. If Bruno plays, I just hope he won't vocate his position and run around like a headless chicken. I agree, Dave. This is one thing that I worry about. Of course, Dave, big up Dave, by the way. I agree. And I do worry about this kind of thing with Man United, with the players that we have in the football team at the moment in regards to the ill-disciplined and decisions. But you make a good point about the atmosphere. Now, look, great teams thrive off atmospheres, even if it's an atmosphere against you, right? You thrive off it. Now, you'll be like, what a chance to silence this crowd. That's what Man United used to do. We used to love silencing Anfield back in the day. Do you know what I mean? We used to love silencing them, keep them quiet, stick your never walk alone up your backside and stuff like that. It used to be like that. Do you know what I mean? We're going to go out there and we're going to silence you and celebrate in front of you. That's what we did, and that's what we used to do. And that's what we need to do now, guys. Whether it's Kerry Pallister with 2 goals from a corner, whether it's John O'Shea with a tap-in, whether it's Andy Cole, beating David James to the ball to head it in to make it 3-1. You know what I mean? This is what we're talking about. We're talking about Man United, and we're talking about, thriving off atmospheres. And I think Man United should be thriving off atmospheres, not being scared or intimidated by an atmosphere. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because we have been over the years, and not least when we got slapped up there a few years ago. I hate even mentioning it, but that was the most embarrassing defeat I've ever seen as a Man United fan. Those players gave up. They got intimidated. They froze. And they didn't remember who they're playing for. And, I really hope that the first 20 minutes is extremely important, because in any game, when you're playing at Anfield or anywhere like that, silence the crowd. After the first 20 minutes, they're going to get tired of singing. They're going to get tired of singing. And what we need to do is keep the crowd quiet and you know what? Hopefully nick a goal or something like that. And that will really put the cat amongst the pigeons. And you never know. Big up, Dave. William. United squad is very threadbare. Absolutely. Needs a big rebuild. A couple of injuries from trouble. Exactly, William. This is exactly what I'm talking about with Endrick. Exactly what I'm talking about with the midfield, with Ruben Neves and players coming in on loan. I know that Man United are not going to spend 100 million in the winter. I know that. I've heard that from various quarters that we're not going to spend that much money. But guys, I want to mention a player that Man United may spend money on. It is a player. His name is Victor Froholt. Guys, he is a centre midfielder who plays for Denmark. He's only 19 years old, already got 6 caps for Denmark, 1 goal, currently playing for Porto. He's a central midfielder, guys. 22 million valuation, will go up to about 30-40 million if Man United make an offer. But Victor Froholt is a Danish international centre midfielder. Man United are interested in this player. They are very, very excited about the prospect of him, his prospect. He's a very high sought-after player as well, guys. A little bit under the radar, but he has been performing extremely well for Porto and also obviously gaining the place in the Danish national team with 6 caps and 1 goal. Now, look, guys, sort of position we need. We need the position of the midfield. We need that sorted out. And Victor Froholt, look, guys, I know a lot of people haven't heard of him. I know a lot of people ain't aware of him. But, guys, a talented individual, already got caps, 19 years old. Remember that, guys. 19 years old. To play for Denmark is no mean feat at 19 years old and scoring a goal as well. So, look, Man United, Victor Froholt is a player that we are very highly interested in. And one of them that you could be hearing about in January. But, however, as I said before, I can't envision Man United doing much business in January. I think that we will end up doing the deals in the summer. But it's another one that a midfielder Man United looking for. It's proof that we are looking at midfielders. Of course, Man United need to revamp that midfielder. If there's any position in that team that needs to be revamped, it is the midfield, guys. It is the midfield. And Froholt is a player that could fill that void. You never know, guys. Absolutely. The world is your oyster. Adversity to the stars. And that is exactly what it is with these young players, of course, guys. However, I know what people are going to say. We need to stop looking at young players. We need to start bringing more experienced players in. I agree with that. We do. I think Man United should be looking at 25, 26 years olds coming into that team because we've got a lot of young players as well. However, you can't just forget about the youth and forget about young players coming through if they are exceptional. If they are exceptional and they're already playing games for their country, you have to look at this pretty seriously, don't you? Absolutely. Wesley, Sesko to score against Liverpool. Yes, absolutely. Let's hope so, my friend. Imagine if Sesko, Tyborg, imagine if Sesko decides the game tomorrow. All those so-called pundits would approve, idiots. I mean, I felt, look, this is exactly what I was saying, Tyborg, when we looked at the worst signings in Premier League this season, and they put Sesko at the top, which basically tells you they have no ball knowledge and they're just speaking based on hate rather than logic. Because they didn't pick Florian Wirtz, they didn't pick Isaac, they didn't put any of these players in their top 10. So, guys, right? That just shows you everything you need to know. It tells, and your carers. Tells you everything you need to know about their hatred for Man United. Sesko scored 2 in 3 games. Sesko scored 2 in 2, by the way. He hasn't played every game this season so far, right? And I would love Sesko to score tomorrow. I would love him to shove it down their throats. You know what I mean? But this is exactly what I'm talking about Man United, hated, adored, never ignored. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I never feed into the hate of other content creators and things like that. I never feed into that hate because they want you to feed into that hate. They want you to go against the manager and to go against Sesko and stuff like that. They want you to do that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And we shouldn't fall for that because they hate us. They hate us. And when, you know what? Sesko, goal tomorrow, pull it in the back of the net. Fabulous. Hopefully he plays, of course. Big up, Tyborg. Big up, Afro. Big up, I think it's Gary. Big up. Hey, Sal, hope you're well. Good to see you, mate. I don't rate Zirkzee, but to be fair, without a run of games in a proper position, I can't judge him too hard. Exactly, Gary. You can have your opinions about certain players, but to judge him and just put a 100% slap him as being not good enough, I think that's unfair. And I've always been fair with everything I say, guys. Everything I say it with fairness. I say it with, objectively, and I would look at it from all angles. Every single footballer, if I can give you a compilation, guys, of bad games of Andy Cole, or bad games of Ryan Giggs, or bad games of Paul Scholes, and you'll look at it and think, oh, he's terrible. He's a terrible player. I remember when Philip Neville and Gary Neville broke in the tie, they didn't look absolute well-beaters. You know what? You need consistency. You need consistency, and there's no substitute for that. It's why Man United became so great, because we had players who consistently played. Whether we brought a couple of players in and here and there, slowly, we had players that played for many, many years for Man United, and you know what, became serial winners. And Man United, one of the greatest things about Man United over the Alex Ferguson period, from the manager, from the players to the board, consistency. And that is the one thing we've lacked, in my opinion. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. Daryl, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you. Morning, Sal. Good to see you, mate. The legend that is Daryl. Big up yourself. Sal, a lot of these players can't be trusted to perform like they're world-class. We need players that want to play for us, not just the money. I agree. I want players that perform and just be quiet, just like Paul Scholes used to do, of course, when he used to perform and not speak. You know what I mean? I used to like that Paul Scholes when he used to perform and not speak. And that is what players need to do. Perform, win football matches, and then speak after the game if you wish. But you know what? Before the game, don't speak. Don't talk about how much you back this manager, because we don't care if you back this manager or not. I don't care who backs this manager in this football team, especially if you've been at this club for 4 or 5 to 10 years, right? That you've underperformed serially. I don't want to hear about it. I really don't want to hear about it. What I want to see is that result in my eyes. I want to see Man United winning the game, and that, or going out with a fabulous performance, or drawing the game with a fabulous performance, and Man United done well, and we can move on to the next games coming up, of course, guys. I don't want to be hearing we back this manager. I don't care what you back, mate. I don't care what you back. It's like Phil Jones the other day talking about, what you need to do. Oh, you need to, concentrate on your personal life as well. You need to concentrate on you need to cut off from football. Cut off from football, mate. Phil Jones, you'll be working in the chippy if it wasn't for Manchester United and these fans, you bloody chubby git. You weren't even bloody playing. You weren't even playing for 10 years, mate. You know what I mean? Phil Jones, you just need to keep quiet, mate. I don't want to hear about you and your mercenary. I don't want to go anywhere, Mike, because, and then going on an interview and crying your eyes out because, everyone hates me because I didn't want to do a testimonial. Mate, be quiet, mate. Be quiet. That's all I would say to these players. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it because these players have had a free ride for far too long, guys. A free ride, sitting there, doing nothing, not achieving anything. And you know what? They need to be, they just need to be quiet. And that's all I would say. I ain't forgetting these ex-players who sat on their ass for 10 years. You know what I mean? I'm not forgetting them because I don't care. At the end of the day, Phil Jones, be quiet, mate. All I remember about Phil Jones, your legacy, bruv, is scoring an own goal at Wembley with Tottenham. You know what I mean? Madness. I agree with these players owe us blood, sweat, and tears on the pitch and goals and wins. I'm still waiting for them to play their debt. They owe us a lot, mate. We should act as debt collectors. This is what Man United fans are these days. We're debt collectors. And their debt is going higher and higher and higher. We got to collect our debt. We're coming to collect their debt. You know what I mean? We're Bouncer D in this house, guys. You know what I mean? We are collecting our debt. We've got the toll trucks at the back, guys. We got the toll trucks. Man United players, you need to pay your debt to Manchester United fans. And that starts tomorrow against Liverpool. That is what it's all about, guys. You need to repay your debt to Manchester United fans. And you know what? This debt goes back 10 years, guys. 10 years. The interest is very, very high, right? It's very, very high right now. So make sure tomorrow you exert yourself. You implement the tactics. You stop moaning. You stop saying you back the manager. You don't back the manager. You don't like the tactics. I don't want to hear talk. Walk the walk. That's what you do, guys. Start paying your debt to us Man United fans, because you know what? We don't trust you, bruv. We don't trust you. We don't believe in you. And prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. Change the narrative. Go out there and change the narrative and prove Manchester United fans wrong. Prove me wrong. Go out there, win against Liverpool tomorrow. Because you know what? I don't care. Because you know what? I'll be happy celebrating right here. Because I was wrong about you. I was wrong about Bruno. I was wrong about Dalot. I was wrong about Shaw. You guys smashed it today. That's what I want to be saying tomorrow. You guys smashed it today. Fair play. That's what I want to see tomorrow. I don't want to see any nonsense. Absolutely not. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today again. Guys, I really appreciate you all. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video, guys. Sorry I can't read out everyone's comments, guys. Really appreciate you all. Of course, guys. But, guys, look, it's a big game tomorrow. It's a big game tomorrow. I will be back later on for Chatterboxer anyway, guys. Absolutely. And I will be there to analyze the game a little bit more and go in the ins and outs. And, guys, got some breaking news as well coming up very soon. I'm going to find out today. But, guys, thank you. I really appreciate you. Have a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are in the world. Don't forget to smash a like. Guys, remember, we need to get to 50 likes on every single Breaking Dawn show, guys. Every single Breaking Dawn, it needs to be 50 likes minimum. 50 likes minimum, guys. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, if you're lurking in the shadows or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because some people do lurk in the shadows, as we know. But don't forget to smash a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get it in, guys. Glory, glory, Man United. See you later on for Chatbox. Take it easy, guys. Peace.